Welcome to the deep dive.
Hi.
So we're all on this journey of aging, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it feels, I don't know, exciting, full of possibilities, and other times, maybe a little less so.
Yeah, definitely.
You might be wondering what the years ahead hold, maybe how to stay vibrant, how to navigate the changes. It's pretty universal, this ticking clock feeling.
Absolutely. And that internal sense of time passing, how we feel about it, it often clashes with the external messages society throws at us about what aging should look like.
Right.
It's a space that's, well, it's ripe with both anxiety, but also the potential for some incredible growth.
And that's precisely why we really dove into Isabel Allende's TED Talk. I mean, here's a woman who, at 71, just radiates passion for life.
Yeah, she really does.
And she mentions her 76-year-old husband, her parents thriving in their late 90s. It's quite the family context.
It is. And her perspective offers some genuinely surprising, refreshing insights, especially this idea that our inner spirit can remain so incredibly youthful, regardless of the number.
The number of candles on the cake, yeah.
Yeah. Allende's talk really reframes aging. It's not just decline, it's more like a unique, evolving personal story. So our goal in this deep dive, really, is to pull out the most valuable lessons from her experience. How to actively engage with aging, maybe move beyond those limiting fears and societal boxes.
And find that passion at every stage.
Exactly. To embrace life with passion.
Okay, so Allende immediately hits on this tension we feel. She points out how society often just sets this arbitrary marker, like 65 is old.
Usually related to healthcare and things like that.
Right, like this invisible line you supposedly cross.
It's fascinating how constructed that line really is, isn't it? Because, as Allende reminds us, aging is biological. It starts the moment we're born.
It's continuous.
It's continuous, it unfolds, and your experience at, say, 70 will be completely different from someone else's. So if these markers are so arbitrary, you start to think, well, what kind of mental framework can help us break free?
Free from those limits, yeah, to sort of honor our own process. And that's the key, I think. Allende captures it so well when she says she still feels 17 at heart.
I love that.
It speaks to this persistent sense of self, this inner energy that seems to exist outside the physical stuff.
It really makes you think how much of our experience of aging is perception. Our internal view, not just the external reality.
Totally.
Exactly. I mean, the physical side is undeniable, obviously. But the lens we use, that profoundly impacts things. Allende even shares a funny story about trying Sophia Loren's supposed secret to youth.
Oh, spaghetti.
Yeah, the spaghetti with, let's say, unintended consequences.
Yeah. More curves and unexpected places, I think she said.
Right. But that little detour, that humorous bit, it really just highlights that there isn't some simple external fix. There's no magic pill to stop time.
No magic spaghetti?
No magic spaghetti, sadly. It brings us back to something much deeper and, frankly, more empowering. The power of our own mindset.
And to show this power, she introduces someone really remarkable, Olga Murray.
Oh, this part is amazing.
Yeah. Allende describes Olga as this 60-year-old girl from California who just incredibly dedicated her life to rescuing young girls in Nepal.
Rescuing them from domestic servitude.
Yeah. And Olga's impact it's just staggering.
Yeah.
At 88 years old, she has saved over 12,000 girls.
12,000. It's hard to even grasp.
And it wasn't just rescuing individuals. She actually pushed for legal reforms in Nepal, made it illegal for fathers to sell their daughters.
Wow. That's an extraordinary level of passionate engagement and impact at any age, but especially,
Especially later in life.
What really comes through is Allende's admiration for Olga's, enduring happiness and her consistently useful spirit. Such a powerful, real-world example. Passion and purpose can just shatter those limitations we often tack onto aging.
Definitely. But, Allende is also really honest about the losses that can come with aging.
Which is important, too.
She talks about losing loved ones, familiar places, that kind of boundless youthful energy. She even mentions the increasing possibility of dependence. Admits it brings a touch of fear.
And that vulnerability, I think many of us can connect with that. Her honesty there is so important because it validates the real challenges.
It does.
But then she brings in the wisdom of Ram Dass,
Yes.
who, after his stroke, discovered that accepting his dependence actually eased his suffering. He learned to appreciate the help, to view his changing body with a kind of affection even.
That's such a shift in perspective.
It really is. It makes you wonder, how can we shift our perspective on dependence? Maybe not see it as just a loss, but as, an opportunity for connection? Receiving grace.
It's a profound reframe. And then Allende contrasts these losses with what she feels she's gained. And this is where it gets really liberating.
Okay.
She talks about the freedom from this constant need to prove herself.
Yes. That sense of liberation. It's a common theme, isn't it? That shedding of pressure.
The pressure to achieve, impress, always striving for that external nod, it starts to loosen its grip.
Yeah.
And she adds, with this wonderful bit of humor, the freedom from striving to please men.
Though she playfully says, animals are still an exception.
Good to know. But it's that sense of shedding constraints, right? Those outdated expectations.
Exactly. It's like an internal reset. Recognizing your worth isn't tied up in those external things the way it maybe once felt.
A recalibration.
Allende Rates also really emphasizes embracing the present moment, even if her physical body is changing. She talks about the sharpness of her mind, how much she loves and appreciates that.
And focusing on what's still vibrant, what's enjoyable now, instead of fixating on decline.
Yeah,
That seems crucial for a positive path forward.
definitely.
She describes this lightening of her mind through consciously letting go of stuff, resentments, old ambitions, vanities.
I calls it a good thing and even wishes she'd started this mental decluttering sooner.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, the idea that aging can bring this kind of mental clarity, this inner peace, just by releasing baggage.
Yeah.
That's really powerful.
And she also notices she's more resilient now, less afraid of being hurt. Right. Reframing vulnerability. Not as weakness, but just part of being human.
Yeah.
Maybe even a strength.
Perhaps. When you've navigated more of life's ups and downs, you often build a deeper trust in your own ability to handle things.
That makes sense. Then she talks about her relationship with death changing. It's not this abstract, far-off thing anymore. It feels much closer, like a neighbor.
Yeah.
And instead of being morbid, that awareness actually makes her focus more intensely on living each moment fully.
It's a common shift, that perspective change. Recognizing mortality can be a real catalyst for appreciating the here and now. She even throws in a lighthearted mention of the Dalai Lama.
And meditation, yeah. With a quick om.
Which, as she jokes, is probably best started early.
Probably.
Yeah.
But it all comes back to presence, doesn't it? Cultivating that inner peace. Now, Allende also touches on the, let's be honest, very real challenges of navigating society's expectations around aging. Especially, as she humorously puts it, for vain women like herself.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge struggle for many. Our society puts such a premium on youth, on a certain kind of beauty, that the natural process of aging can feel like this constant, tough negotiation with these often unrealistic ideals.
Yet she has this wonderful internal sense, she says, of still feeling attractive, fascinating, sexy.
Regardless of the external view.
Right. Even if she feels the outside world might not always see her that way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she admits she dislikes feeling invisible. She still wants to be seen.
It's that fascinating interplay, isn't it, between our inner feeling and how we think we're perceived.
Yeah.
It really highlights how important it is to cultivate self-acceptance, find your own internal validation, rather than just relying on external approval.
Absolutely. She then shares this incredibly moving example of Grace Damon,
Oh, Grace's story.
who found intense sensuality, real pleasure, in something as simple as a warm shower after becoming wheelchair-bound.
The sensory joy of each raindrop, she said.
It's just such a powerful reminder of our capacity to find pleasure, find passion in new ways, unexpected ways, even when life changes dramatically.
Grace's experience is truly profound. She reframes her reality. It's not disability, it's a different way of being. Her mind is still surfing, she says.
Wow.
It's just a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, isn't it? And the potential for joy, no matter the physical circumstances.
It really is. And then there's Edith Ide, also known as Billie Holiday.
Right. The activist in Allende's community.
This vibrant woman who embraces bold style, the signature red patterned shoes,
Love that detail.
and a fantastic motto about scarves, and her wonderfully pragmatic take on finding a new partner after being widowed for 9 years.
What was it? Something about using up her share of men.
Yeah. Basically, she figures there's a limit per lifetime, and she's hit hers.
Pragmatic indeed. Edith's story, and Elena's own ongoing, shall we say, enthusiastic fantasy about Antonio Banderas.
Which her husband apparently just accepts.
Takes in stride, yeah. It really highlights this enduring zest for life, holding on to your individual spirit.
It's about keeping what brings you joy, right?
Yeah.
Not feeling hemmed in by what's appropriate for your age.
Exactly. Don't let those societal norms dictate your inner world.
And Allende herself is clear. Maintaining this passion at 71, it doesn't just happen automatically.
No.
It takes conscious effort, consistent practice, even on days you feel drained or just bored.
That idea of acting as if, choosing to engage as if you're passionate, even when the feeling isn't right there, that's a really practical insight.
It really is.
It just underscores that our attitudes are, in so many ways, choices we make daily. We can actively choose to approach life with enthusiasm, even with its challenges.
And she emphasizes embracing the whole spectrum of life, the drama, the comedy, the tragedy.
The love, the loss, the death, all of it. Accepting that life just is.
Yeah. And at the core is this ongoing commitment to try to love, to connect, even if it doesn't always work out perfectly. That resilience, that willingness to stay open, it feels vital. Finally, she offers this beautiful reframe of retirement. She introduces the Spanish word jubilación.
Ah, yes. Jubilación.
Which carries this inherent sense of joy, celebration.
That linguistic difference is so telling, isn't it? It reframes retirement not as decline or an ending, but as a time of joy, celebration, well-deserved after years of work and contribution.
Exactly. And it emphasizes choice, assuming, of course, you're not dealing with major health or money issues.
Right. The element of choice is key.
And for Allende, her choice is clear. Keep living an open, passionate, fully engaged life. And she really warmly encourages all of us to join her in that daily effort.
It's a truly inspiring call to action.
It really is.
Absolutely. I mean, Allende's perspective just offers such profound wisdom for navigating aging. It highlights the incredible power of our mindset.
Huge.
The importance of actively embracing change, discovering new ways to find joy and passion, and that surprising freedom that can come from letting go of old burdens.
Ultimately, she reminds us that aging is just deeply personal. It's a journey that we shape continuously by our attitude, by the choices we make every single day.
So as you think about Isabel Allende's insights, maybe ask yourself this. What aspect of your own aging journey brings up the most questions? Or perhaps the most, apprehension? And how might even a small shift in perspective unlock unexpected possibilities for living passionately? Not just way off in the future, but right now, in this moment.
Yeah.
Perhaps that ageless spirit inside you. Maybe it's just waiting